Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Today we're going to be making pot pies, chicken pot pies. So I'm really excited. We're going to get started by going ahead and season our chicken. I already washed my chicken off. I damped it dry so that it's going to cook good in my pan. I'll be able to get a better sear. I'm going to get my New Wave on and we're going to get that started. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to basically take some lemon pepper and I'm just going to sprinkle it on. Just going to show you. You don't need too much, but you want to do, I don't want to say you need a teaspoon because I don't want to over season it because lemon pepper will make things salty. So we don't really want to make anything too salty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and flip it. I took 3 pieces of my Winco chicken that I bought. I really have to rep this chicken though. You guys, this is a frozen chicken, a frozen chicken boneless breast. It is one of the best I use for cooking, especially when I have a really busy day and I'm gone all day, but I need something fast. And I tell my husband, okay, we're having chicken again today. He says, you're gonna turn into a chicken one day. And I'm like, oh, you're probably right. So you see that seasoning, not too over seasoned, but there's enough seasoning. And all I'm going to do is the lemon pepper, because in our beautiful pot pie, we're going to be doing some thyme, some celery. We're going to do onion powder, parsley, and garlic powder, along with our 2 cans of soup. And we're going to do a half a cup of peas and carrots. Normally I use frozen or I try and use fresh, but I didn't have any carrots on hand because I've been taking the little bit I have out of my garden, so nothing goes to waste. So I don't want to buy them from the grocery store because I get 2 or 3 per day. But they're little, they're only about that big. So that's why I'm using these. Okay, there's about 1.5 tablespoons, 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil in here. What I'm going to do is now it's ready to put my chicken on. Hear a little bit of sizzle, but I don't need a whole lot of sizzle. It won't take very long. You know, chicken has to be cooked in my opinion because that's the only thing, like I eat my meat medium rare. But my chicken has to be cooked. I would prefer to put it on the grill, but I'm going to use my pan inside so I don't have to run in and out today. It's kind of hot. Don't want to let the heat in the house. But it's not real super hot, so we're good. So this pan is because it is already chicken infused. I'm gonna go put in my water because I have bleach water, and then or rinse and put in my bleach water. Let this cook, and then what I'm gonna do is get the seasonings out on my plate. And then as soon as this is cooked, we'll come back and we'll cube it together. And then what we're gonna do is assemble our pot pie, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. Welcome back. I have the chicken cooked. I have 1 cup of chicken in my bowl already. Getting ready to add a 2nd cup because I usually do 1 piece of chicken per person. So what I'm doing is I wanted to take the time though to show you that I cut up the chicken just like this. It's kind of, you want it pretty uniform so that every bite is kind of even. So just cut it. Came out perfect. Remember, for some reason, if you undercook your chicken, you feel you undercook it, don't worry about it. It's going to go in the oven for 40 minutes, so you don't have to worry. You know, if you get a color like that on the top, you know you're good. Mine's perfectly cooked. Any more, by the time it's sat in the oven and so forth, to me it would be overcooked. So don't overcook your chicken. And remember, I'm the kind of person that does not like raw chicken. I will freak out if I have raw chicken, and everybody thinks it's so funny because I eat my filet mignon or my ribeye. I eat it. I can eat it bloody rare, no problem. Doesn't freak me out. My prime rib is the same way, but oh good God, my chicken has to be cooked, otherwise I will freak out. I remember when I first started using my smoker and smoking meats. Now I smoke and use my grill quite a bit. My chicken really freaked me out on the smoker because every time I go to bite into it, even though I know it was on the smoker for hours, and I know because I took my temperature of my chicken, the temp of the chicken, I knew it was cooked, but because it was red, because it was smoked, it freaked me out. So I had, for a couple weeks, I had to get used to having blood red on my bone of chicken, but that was not it. That's the color of, that's it smoking. So, I had to educate myself and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 nice little cups of chicken in here, and I'm going to put the rest to the side. And because we use chicken for salads during the day, for other things that I need during the day, we make bowls. I'll make you guys a couple of bowls in the future. Those bowls are really good. You can do many different styles. So I already have one on my channel. So I'll go ahead and get that and make some more for you. I got some interesting recipes too. Oh, next week I wanted to tell you we picked fresh bell peppers, so we're having stuffed bell peppers next week. I already know what we're having for next week. Okay, so we got our chicken in, everything's seasoned well. It tastes delicious. I'm gonna try it. Tender, juicy. So I cooked it, I let it rest for about 10 minutes so all the juices would go back in and distribute evenly. I got some good juices in my bottom of my pan here, but I do not want to use them because I don't want to make my food salty or too runny. So I'm going to take 1 good can of cream of chicken soup. Man, I love this stuff. I'm really picky when it comes to soups. Most of the time we make our own, but gosh, I sure do love this can. I like to eat this one when I'm not feeling well, got a cold, allergies are bugging too bad. I love to eat that. Then we have 1 can of cream potato. Love this one too. I love potatoes in general. Potatoes are my favorite thing, but oh my gosh, it's not my favorite thing. Pizza is probably my favorite thing, but boy, I sure do love potatoes. Pizza, potatoes, and all the bad things for you. But unfortunately, my age, that's called triglycerides, so I have to behave myself. That stinks, but trying. So I'm just gonna mix the chicken and the soup up just a little bit. What I'm doing is making sure I have enough chicken, because what I am is an overstuffer. Good Lord, I can overstuff anything. So what I'm doing is looking, and I won't use all this mixture, I can tell you that right now, because I'm only gonna make 2 of my tins. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my heavy cream, and it's 1/3 cup of heavy cream. It's all the liquid I'm gonna add to it. It's gonna give it a nice texture. It's gonna make it like kind of like a smooth gravy, but it's still gonna be able to keep its own taste, like the seasons of it. Now what we're gonna do is we took 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 teaspoon of celery salt, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. We're just gonna go ahead and shake it all in there. Shake it, shake it, shake it. It's gonna have a whole lot of flavor. No messing around. Now, I believe pot pies need flavor. And I love herbs. If you don't love, whatever herb you don't love, don't use. Whatever you don't like, don't use. But I'll tell you something. 1 teaspoon of all of them is not a bad mixture. Not at all. Okay, so that's mixed. I left my vegetables for the last because I don't want to mush them in. We're only going to do a 1/2 cup of vegetables, because before I used to put way too much in there. You don't need that much. When you get a pot pie from the store, you do not get a million vegetables in there. So you just want a little bit for taste, and then you want a little bit for color, because I feel like I like my vegetables more on the outside than I do in mixtures. But hey, that's what a pot pie is. I like to add corn to mine too, but my son says, "Hey Mom, that's a shepherd's pie." I said, "Okay, fine." So I don't do that. I'm good. Put that right there. I have my oven heating to 350 right now. Everything is beautifully mixed in. So we're gonna get ready to go. So that potato soup just does wonders. Let me go ahead and just pop these in my refrigerator. Like I said, oven is preheated to 400 for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna cook for 40 minutes at 400. Okay, so we're good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pie crust in order. Used just a real cheap pie crust. It's a very good pie crust. I like actually this one. It's a little bit thinner, and then I'm just gonna roll it for 1 second, and it's gonna come out good. So this is how I do my little pot pies. We like individual pot pies. Sometimes I do a big pot pie. You can do that as well, but we like our own, and so that's how we do it. So what I did is I took a whole bunch of canola oil and sprayed my pan. Be generous. Nothing wrong with being generous, because that means hopefully everything should just fall out. You know, it's so funny when I do something for the channel and I do something, because I'm not a real good baker, but I mean, it's not like I'm really baking anything, but you know, I learned use a generous amount because it's going to help your crust come out. So what I'm going to do is take it, I unrolled it, so right there, just to make sure you guys can see it, I'm just going to take and just roll it out just a little bit, just so my edges and that flour gets incorporated. I'm gonna flip it. Okay, that's done. Real easy. What I'm gonna do with this one first is I'm gonna just make like a little template. So I wanted to try and do it as easy as possible for you guys, because like I said, but if the flavor's there, your food is good, this will all come in time as you do it. Trust me, I'm a lot better than I used to be, but it takes time. You're gonna have to do it for it to actually work. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one first. Boy, that was confusing. I just went around the world in 20 days with my hand. So I stuffed it like that. I'm gonna put this one in. Oops, you know what? That is way too big. I already know that's already way too big. So I just fit it in like that. And like I said, you may be way better at this than I am. What I'm going to do with that extra I have left over, I'll make, because normally I'll make 4 of these. I have 4 little pans, 1 per person. It's a perfect amount of food to eat for the night, to be honest. And you know, I just take my little pizza cutter. I have a pastry cutter too, but I just use my little pizza cutter because I feel, you know, I'm used to my pizza cutter. But like I said, I have a pastry cutter too. And I used to joke, like I didn't even know what it was back in the day. I'm really not that terrible, but it's not my thing. Best thing I can bake, honestly, is banana bread. Up until a very short time ago, I had never made a cake from scratch. So funny. Now I can. Oh, I make cookies good too. But okay, so this is what I do with my dough, because I'm going to put the top on and I want them to adhere. So I'm going to start with this one. Basically, I'm just going to fill it. Just going to basically start putting, because I feel I have enough of everything in there. And what I'm going to do is put it in. I'm going to fill it pretty good because this is our dinner. We'll have a salad with this probably. Supposed to stay away from breads and things like that. And I already got pie dough, so I better stay away. So I fill them about that high. You can actually go to the top too. I always tell my husband, make sure I remember to cut holes in the top, because sometimes I don't, and then my dough doesn't work as good. Okay. Well, I better put one little more scoop in here. But I have plenty for 4. And normally I don't fill them quite that high. I leave them a little bit down. Okay, so I'm going to take a little cube of butter and I'm going to drop this in here just for a little extra flavor. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the tops on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put this on like this, and we're going to squeeze it. because it's funny, we eat our pot pies. My husband prefers his pot pie not in the tin. So when I'm making pot pies, after it's done cooking, I'm going to plop it over, and then he's going to crush it. So basically all I'm doing is touching the bottom pie crust dough to the top so that it seals. And that's why I said, oh God, please make sure that I put the holes in the top. So I think we're good to go. And then what I'm going to do is grab a fork. I'm going to let it vent like that. Looks good to me. Everything's there. Like I said, one day I'll get better at the top of my pie crust. I'll get better. If I do it enough, I'll get better. I usually used to just, buy the circle one, but we got kind of tired of it. We got kind of tired of there just being so much. It's nice to have the crust right around. It kind of reminds me more of what you buy in the store. But what I am doing is I don't want this to be around there like that, because then it won't just plop out. So you have to go to the top. But this is the fun in cooking, in my opinion. Me learning a new thing or how to do something, taking a trick. And let me tell you something, it's better we make it from scratch than we always buy it. For two reasons. Prices are expensive. Not only that, you got this sense of feeling of, wow, I'm proud, I did this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to cheat. Now I got them both like that. Now I'm going to take and let me get a spoon. It's going to go over much better. I'm going to take some butter. Oops. That wouldn't be good. I'm just going to wipe some on the top. And it's going to make like a buttery, flaky top crust. I like that. Okay. You can make these with no meat and buy vegetable broth and stuff too. That's really good. And remember, the filling is what you like in a pot pie. Mine's more traditional, carrots and peas. Even though I'd rather have corn, but like my son says, Mom, I do declare that would be a shepherd's pie. And he is right. I love shepherd's pie. Oh my gosh, I think shepherd's pie is just fantastic. And I was quite old when I learned how to make it. Okay, these are going in the oven for 40 minutes. We'll be back. Welcome back. Pot pies are done. Okay, they're gorgeous. I love them. They're called rustic chicken pot pies, in my opinion. That's what I call my stuff when I think it looks rustic. So it's a rustic one, but smells delicious. We all need smell vision, I swear. I'm convinced of that. So what we're gonna do is how we eat our pot pies in our household. Don't want to burn my fingers too much. I'm bad. I'm always picking up stuff when it's hot. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to take the pot pie. It looks absolutely gorgeous. No, because I'm going to burn myself. I'm going to pick it up this way. And I have the thermal gloves. You think I would wear them. But when you're realistic in the kitchen all day, you don't wear them. So everything looks fantastic. We even had a little bit of leakage there. So what I'm going to do is take this pot pie and hopefully it will not break. It'll do exactly what I want it to do, and hopefully it'll come out. But let me tell you something. If it doesn't, next time just use more canola oil. And if it does come out, we're good. And remember, the pot pie is supposed to be broken up anyways. Oh, thank you, sweet Jesus. Look at that beautiful pot pie. That's the way it's supposed to look. Oh, and it didn't even break. Thank you. So we are in business. I haven't had one break yet in half or anything, but like I said, that's when you're doing something to show somebody, and that's when it doesn't come out, and you're like, doggone it, I really wanted it to come out. I always have 30 million towels running around my kitchen. I'm a towel person. This is our pot pie. Looks gorgeous. And this one looks gorgeous. All the crust is nice and done. Look at the crust here. It's all done good. Nice and beautiful. Oops, just throw some crust on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to barely break this on the side because I'm going to take a taste. Oh my gosh, look at that. Looks fantastic. And then I'll probably take a couple pictures like this, and then I'll take a couple pictures breaking it, but I'm going to try it. But good Lord, it's hot. It's steaming. Super seasoned. Super. Fantastic. Lots and lots of flavor. If you like the content, if you would please like and subscribe, I'd be so grateful. And I also want to thank all the subscribers and the new subscribers. The support is awesome. This is really wonderful to do. I love doing it. So thanks again, and you guys all take care.